Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome to Old Man Rambling again. Today, I want to talk about Social Security for a bit. I don't really want to think about Social Security, although considering my age, I probably should be. But Ben Shapiro had to go and open his big fat mouth, saying that people shouldn't retire at 65. Because, he wants us to work till we die. And no one should listen to Ben Shapiro. No one, him and the other members of the Daily Wire are all liars and grifters. And if you listen to them, you're at the wrong channel. Believe me. But since he did open his big fat mouth, I want to talk about Social Security for a few minutes. A certain presidential candidate has mentioned cutting Social Security benefits, which, of course, people like the aforementioned idiot approves of. They're claiming it's a waste. It's full of government fraud, or not full of government fraud, but, fraud and mismanagement, all of which are lies. Social Security is probably one of the best managed government programs out there. No waste, no fraud, or very little. They want it because they want to cut taxes again. And the last time they cut taxes, the deficit exploded. And they can't cut taxes without, finding a way to cut costs. And of course, they want your Social Security money. Now, the Social Security program is in trouble for a couple of reasons. One, Reagan took a huge chunk of money out of it, borrowed. It's never been paid back. Now, he's not the only president to have done this, but he is the first. I know Clinton did the same thing, and I think one of the Bushes did too, but don't quote me on that because I'm not positive. I know Clinton did. So, although he's not the only one, Reagan opened the door, so I'm going to blame him. And none of the loans from Social Security have ever been paid back. So it's in a bit of financial trouble there. But there are other reasons. Some people have talked about the fact the boomers are retiring in huge numbers, but the Social Security trustees anticipated that. They figured out that there would be a boomer boom, so to speak, and they adjusted for that back in 1983. They made adjustments for it so that it would still be a flush program in perpetuity. They didn't anticipate, Reagan taking a chunk of change out of it. But the real reason is economic inequality and economic inequality. They set the program going forward anticipating that salaries would raise by a certain amount as they had in the past. This has not happened for the last 30, 40 years. Wages have remained moderately stagnant in the US. So the anticipated taxes going into the program are not as high as they planned them to be. That's one of the reasons. Another reason is that Social Security taxes have a cap on them. Now, the average person, like you and me, gives between $3,000 and $10,000 of our income into Social Security every year. The reason it's only around $3,000 to $10,000 is that there's a cap on how much money Social Security can tax. And in 2024, the tax limit is $168,000. Anything over $168,000 doesn't go into Social Security. There's no tax, so there's no Social Security tax on that, which means that if you make more than that, no extra money is going to Social Security. So as our wages have stagnated, less money is going in, because if people who make more than that aren't paying anymore. Let's look at someone like Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos paid $10,000 in Social Security tax last year. That's it. He made $77 billion and paid $10,000 in Social Security tax. That's insane. If he paid 6%, 6.2% like the rest of us do, he would have paid like $84 million. which, and he's not. And no one who makes millions of dollars a year is paying more than 10 grand in Social Security tax. And if you ask them to do that, they're going to say they can't afford it. They're going to say, or they're going to come back with saying, why should I have to do this? I shouldn't have to pay that much money in Social Security taxes. That's not fair. Why is it fair for me, and I'm assuming you, to pay that chunk of change? He certainly can afford it. If he paid $84 million in Social Security taxes last year, that would have only left him with an earning of $76 billion. Ooh, poor Jeff Bezos. They can all afford it. The GOP claims that Social Security is an entitlement. It's like a free handout, and it's not. We pay for it. It's our money. If they cut these programs, where's my money? I put in my lifetime like between around $80,000. I'm in my late 50s. I probably put between $70,000 and $80,000 of my money into Social Security, which I should get back. If they cut these programs, where's my money going? They're keeping it. They want our money. It's not an entitlement. We've earned it. We've paid for it. And some people are paying less and are going to whine and complain if we ask them to pay their fair share. If they did, if they raised the cap, if they eliminated the cap, Social Security will be completely funded. No problem. No problem at all. And they want to cut it so they can give tax cuts to the rich. And let's be fair about this. I'm going to talk about the previous tax cuts. The tax cuts that were put in by the previous administration have expired, or at least they've expired for people like me. The tax cuts for the people, the top 10% of the country, those are permanent. The tax cuts for the millionaires was permanent. Tax cuts for people making normal money was set to expire, have expired during Biden's administration. That was deliberate. Give us pennies, let the rich people keep more of their money. Biden's current budget plan is to eliminate the cap on Social Security funding. And Trump's speech for his candidacy wants to cut the benefits. Now, I can't blame Trump for that because the GOP has been trying to cut Social Security benefits for years. He's not the cause, he's just a symptom. So my personal opinions about the man notwithstanding, someone would have done it anyway. If not him, whoever the GOP can't, there's a good chance whoever, if he had been nominated, another GOP candidate would have come in and cut them again. Because looking at people like all the Daily Wire people, they're all right-wing conservatives, they all think we shouldn't retire and we should not get Social Security benefits. There's a certain segment of our political spectrum that thinks we shouldn't be allowed to retire, and the government should really keep all that money for themselves. And unless you can't tell, I'm kind of pissed. I may say it with a smile on my face, but it's either that or I do the old man screaming at the sky thing, which I'm kind of doing anyway. And I hate these little rambles being rants. I don't want to be the angry old man shouting at the sky, but I do get aggravated far too often when I listen to politics, which I shouldn't do because it makes me angry, and you can't punch these people in the face like they need to be, or buried under a rock like some of them need to be. So I'm over here grunting and groaning and ranting. Take from this what you will. I hope it makes you think about it and maybe write your congressman, vote to keep people in office who don't want to take our money away and screw us over. It's an election year. I hate this stuff. Good hunting.